why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep putting myself in front of everybody? It's not getting any easier. Just chaired a meeting I would call maybe one of my highest level meetings over a contentious issue. Angry beekeepers, especially angry because everybody's losing their hives, and just floundering myself through business as we try to make decisions, putting myself in front of everybody. It's just not natural for me. And I keep asking myself, why am I doing this? It's because I have a drive that fuels my day. I want to contribute. I want to do more. I want to help people. I want to champion agriculture. I want to inject all of my energy into the well-being of our bees, into our industry, into the rural community. You know, is this the only way I can actually feel like I'm achieving something, is by engaging myself in this matter, pushing myself to limits to try to do this kind of stuff. Kind of like what I'm doing with my bees, just putting way too much time and energy into keeping them alive, keeping them prospering, and executing, making a lot of money. 5 years ago, if I would have sat in that crowd watching myself flounder and be like, what? First off, I'd be like, what in the hell is he doing up there? But the second thing I'd think about is whoa, I'm actually doing that. Something that's completely foreign to me, out of my grasp, and I'm actually reaching out and grabbing it, bringing it back, and doing the absolute best I can, and achieving things. And that's maybe what it's all about. Oh, but I'm going to have to pull back the throttle a little bit. This last month has been a lot for me. I'm going to have to just focus on maybe the research aspect of it a little bit more, and focus on my business a little bit more. And then once I get refreshed, carry on with association duties this fall and pick up right where we left off here. Victory is mine. I don't know if you notice, but all my pails are on every one of my colonies. So I got the little rat bastard. Great big bugger too. I don't know how, but I had that bowl inside there. How he got that out, he must have pulled that out and got back in. I just don't understand. But I got him all the same. It took us 3 times. He was crafty, a little bastard, but he took us 3 times to finally get him in that trap. And my pails are on my colonies. What a treat. So we shot him, obviously. I'm just here to take care of him now. I'm going to bait the next little bastard that walks through this yard. And it sure is nice to see this snow disappearing. We have some optimism on the horizon, but not before we get another Colorado low come through this weekend. Seems to be a weekend event. So we'll just put up with it, I guess. Rain will be better than snow. I'm not moving out my nukes yet. No use moving them out to get wet. It did not freeze last night. And we have a lot of water runoff right now. So this is good, nice and slow and steady. No use flooding anybody out. But if we get another dump of rain this weekend, they're talking, I don't know how much they're talking. They're talking a lot. That hopefully, like a warm rain, we're talking 10 to 12 degrees. that should just kill all the snow, and that might increase the water flows a little bit. But I don't care right now. I just don't give a damn. I just want that snow gone, and I want the warmth to prevail. I was looking at double digits next week with sun. Those news forecasters, they've probably taken the hint that we need some weather here, so they're providing it for us. We'll see if their promise comes true. Oh, there's one pail off. I was wrong. One pail off. Maybe he caught this before we caught him. Yeah, that's empty. That's one disadvantage to these pails. Is, dealing with that issue. These hives are a mess. These entrances, we need some sunshine, we need some dry weather. They'll clear all that out themselves by the time we get to them. But it's just that soggy, damp, disgusting mold. Like, take a look at the bottom. I bet you it's just gross underneath. Once they start tipping colonies, though, it's not actually that bad. Hive smells good. So that's, once I kick them around a little bit, we can make that into a 4-framer. We're going to rest on promoting everything this year. There won't be a split. By the way I'm seeing things right now, there's enough smaller ones that need a boost and not enough big ones that will be able to take a split. And those big ones, we're timing out on them anyways for a split. So we're going to just be pulling brood from them and equalizing, boosting, and try to get everything the same by the end of May. And then to make our nukes, well, maybe if we have some optimism, then we'll probably take a yard and just... But I've pulled back all my sales now. I am not selling any nukes. I'm thinking I'm going to keep them all to put into my operation just to make sure I'm reinforced. And as I do that, I will be calling out some of the smaller ones here and salvaging them into my nuke operation. So I'm going to be cycling in these nukes into the operation and use all of them. So there'd be like, how many do I have there? I don't know, 400 or something. So there should be 400 fresh queens, including the 400 fresh queens we already have in here. So I just want to try to battle back a little bit from this tough weather, try to make the best, set ourselves up for good things next year. And the best way to do that is to reinforce your stock with youth. Take that bottom end out for sure, replenish with the younger stock, and that'll just help us, just help us. We're seeing varroa mites within our hives. Typically the hives that are failing, the hives that are smaller, they're the ones that have mites in them. That's not good. Throughout my testing, showing not much of a mite concern, but those little, we can't get away from them. It just reinforces the whole fact that our industry needs more options. We need more options. We need something to turn to when we're using one product. Primarily, we need something reliable to be able to just turn to switch things up a little bit, protect our asses, because we have all this investment, our livelihoods, tied up into not enough answers, not enough options. And it's not acceptable. We need to be able to figure that out. So we'll be working to promote some of that within our association, something with a completely, totally different angle. We'll be watching what other associations are doing up here with their products. It looks quite interesting. Our association, we're approaching it just a little bit differently through RNA. So we're quite eager to see what comes of that and how that proceeds. But it's efforts, so we got to keep putting these efforts towards that, because it's those bastard mites, they're knocking these colonies down. I'm pretty sure that's why beekeepers are seeing a lot of loss. When you get situations like last year where the weather just not only put the bees on its side, but put beekeepers on their side, and we couldn't get our treatments in the way we needed to, or if you're a little bit late off your timing or something like that, it just was very unforgiving. And that's not acceptable. We need to be able to manage these issues easily within all types of conditions and not just get slammed when uncertain circumstances come and sideswipe you. At any rate, probably in a bit of a ranty mood because the bloody sun's not out again. I was kind of expecting to be a sunny bee working day. It looks like we'll just have to work slowly as we drop treatments today and do our best. As we're working through these colonies, we are coming upon problems. Nothing that we haven't been expecting. But with this type of weather, we find ourselves battling dwindling. Anything that just doesn't have enough girth just falls apart. And it falls apart pretty quickly. This colony was probably a 4-framer as it went into that weather event. And it's just losing its bee mass. Not enough bees to cover the brood nest here. As you can see, the brood, the cappings, they can't even cover the cappings on the outside. And it goes all the way over to here. So this would have been a 4 or 5 frame colony that has just collapsed. The problem with this colony, it's collapsing probably because of varroa exposure. There's a lot of varroa mite on these bees right now. So you just can't cover the work that they had established. And this colony is within probably, it's just going to dwindle out of sight. There's new bees walking around. Surprising enough, that queen was still laying in there, just desperate, trying to carry forward. So this colony is sick, and I don't really want to shake those varroa into another colony. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take those back home and get rid of them, or tap them into the snow. Maybe that's what I'll do right now. There's so many varroa within this nest. Like, I'm colorblind, I can't see them the same way others do, but I can actually spot these ones on the bees. It's not good. So I'm thinking this colony's fallen to sickness, to varroa exposure, and there's just the stress over the last 2 weeks is just sudden demise. And that is what we're finding as we're working through these colonies, and all these small ones are just dropping off, so it just adds to the losses. See, there's some deformed wing virus there. So these bees are no use to boost another colony because they're sick, and they'll just add the infection. Cut and run.